What up, B Squad? It is me, JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Baddies USA. This is season 8. I believe this is episode 12, and this episode was titled Get Information. So, before I go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you're not subscribed yet, I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and get into this episode of Baddies USA, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, honestly, to me, it was a little boring. If I'm gonna be honest with you, it didn't give me really much to talk about, but we'll definitely talk about it nonetheless. So if you watch the episode, feel free to let me know what you guys thought about it if you're in the live chat or if you're in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions on this episode. So we pick up where we ended the last episode, and that was with Natalie having a conversation with Summer, right? And she's talking about the fact that Summer called her 5 times back to back. What I thought was really funny to me was the fact that Natalie is doing all this screaming at Summer, but Summer ain't got nothing to say to Natalie. Like, when I say nothing to say to Natalie, I ain't got shit to say to Natalie. Natalie is just screaming at her, cussing her out. And Natalie is telling Summer, like, Summer, when I gave you my phone number, that was for emergencies only. I was like, emergencies only? Um, Girl, I would rather call 911 than to call you. But I'm guessing she mean an emergency like with the show. I don't know. I really honestly don't care. But it's just funny to me that Summer was just sitting there and ain't had shit to say to Natalie. Okay, I ain't call you 5 times. Okay, okay, okay. So then she brings in the rest of the girls, right? And she's talking about the fact that with the rest of the girls that they were calling her. She did say that some of them were supportive of her, but she's also saying that like some of y'all were calling me about y'all hotel rooms. Y'all were calling me about this. Y'all were calling me about that. Well, I mean, here's the thing, Natalie. This is your show, right? And I mean, let's just be real. When something goes wrong on your job and your boss is not there, most people don't go to the assistant manager. Most people gonna be like, you know what? Let's call the big boss. So I mean, I get where she's coming from, but at the same time, I'm just like, if they have problems, I don't know, like especially if it's stuff dealing with the show, you're their quote unquote boss, and Rolly is not their boss. So there's very little that Rolly can do. Now she did say that there were some girls who called her and was very supportive of her, right? And I was like, okay, cool, right? But then Summer's like, but she said that some of y'all were calling, and everybody was like, no, Summer, you're the only one that called her. We told you not to call Natalie, and you still called her anyways. So we move on from there, right? Excuse me. Yeah. Now, what I will say is, although it does come off that Summer is hating on Lex for whatever reason, I will say that I do agree with Summer in her stance that if you say that the girls who got booed on the stage can't perform, then why are you making an exception for Lex when Lex technically got booed on the stage as well? So I got Summer's I got Summer's point of view, and I never thought I would say that, but I fully understood where someone was coming from. It's like what's good for the goose is good for the gander, in my personal opinion. But you guys may disagree, and that's fine, right? So after that, we see as they left rehearsal, right? They left for rehearsal. So they talk about who's going to be the first to perform, and the first person that was performing is Smiley. Okay, cool. I It is what it is when it comes to Smiley performing. I don't have much to say about that, right? Now we move on. Actually, I want to bring up something real quick. They showed a clip last week's episode of Lemmy and Scotty on a date. But I don't think I saw it in this episode. If they did show it, then I missed it. Because I could have swore I saw a clip of her and Lemmy out on a date, but I'm glad they excluded it because I didn't want to see it, right? So Scotty and Jayla, they're back from Milan, and they met up with some of the girls outside of the rehearsal, right? So Scotty just kind of want to know like what's going on. She want to know the tea, right? But they also want to know the tea about her because Scotty is talking about the fact that they were saying that they got robbed when they were in Milan, but Scotty says no, we didn't get robbed when we were in Milan. What happened is she says that there was an altercation out. They went to a club, and there was an altercation outside of the club, and I guess Jayla was filming this altercation, and when the person saw Jayla filming, they didn't like that, so a whole another altercation started. And then I guess the Zeus people got into a fight with them people. Like, y'all went to another country. That is the one thing I just don't understand. I would never go to another country and try to, intentionally, unintentionally get into it with the locals or anybody for that matter, right? But yeah, they saying that, it wasn't, they didn't get beat up, they didn't get jumped, they didn't get nothing, but they did get maced because of the fight that happened, right? So then we see, I forget who Cole Killer was talking to. Oh, it's Scotty. Because Cole Killer was talking about this whole situation with Nunu. Actually, no, Cole Killer and Nunu clear up the air. Because Cole Killer is telling Nunu, like, you went back and you told Fauna that you was checking my temperature, but you ain't checking my temperature because if you checking my temperature, then it was gonna be a fight with that. And honestly, I believe Cole Killer when it comes down to it. Like, girl, if you checking my temperature, then me and you just gonna have to square up with each other, right? And we did eventually see as Cole Killer and her did get into the fight with each other, right? But they cleared the air with each other. Now there's another fight that's gonna come up later with Nunu that I'm still confused about, and we'll talk about it once we get to it, right? So the next group of people we see talking is Summer, Mariah Lynn, Biggie, and I forgot who else. It was somebody else that was with them. I forgot who it was. But the main three people that were there are Biggie, Mariah Lynn, and Summer. So Mariah Lynn and Summer have a conversation. Mind you, these two, this entire season, been beating each other like whack-a-moles, right? So Mariah Lynn says to Summer, you know, she had to give her props. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't give a damn if y'all think Summer is a star. I don't give a damn if y'all think Summer is whatever y'all think about Summer. If me and you have been fighting nonstop, I don't want to be around you. I don't want to have a conversation with you. I don't want to do anything. Now, I'm not going to be a hater or no shit like that, but there is nothing that you and I have to converse about, right? So then, after they had their conversation, then Summer addressed Biggie and basically telling Biggie, girl, it ain't my fault that Tommy told me that I'm a star. Like, and she told you not. Like, that's between you and Tommy. Don't take that out on me. And I don't have to say I agree with Summer in that regards, right? So then we get once again, Scotty is talking to I think these group of girls that's on the screen. Yep. It's Tavy, Summer, Gretchen is in there, Tavi, Cold Killer, and Fauna, right? Now, Nunu wasn't in there when they were first having the conversation, but Scotty was being messy, trying to get the tea on what's going on. And, they told her what's going on with them and Nunu. The only person that I'm confused about having an issue with Nunu is Tavi. Like I'm so confused, right? Because y'all remember, I forget which episode it was, but the one episode where she with the bus, the whole bus situation, right? I'm still confused about that because Nunu was looking for her stuff. Tavi is on the bus telling her that her shit ain't on the bus, and then they get into it when she got into it with Fauna, right? I'm glad they kind of rolled the footage back because from how I was looking at it, Tavy, you were contradicting what you were saying in this particular scene, right? Because, but neither here nor there, right? So I really just feel like Tavy was looking for a reason to want to fight with Cole with Nunu because in her mind, her her girls are going back and forth with her, i.e. Fauna, i.e. Cole Killer, because you ain't had this ain't had nothing to do with you, right? So they having a conversation. I noticed that Scotty was getting her shit and getting Capri out of the way. I was like, you know, they about to start fighting with each other, don't you? And lo and behold, they stand up, they square up for about a few minutes, right? They squaring up, and Nunu and Tavy, they just squaring up with each other. Ain't nobody swinging. So then they get the swinging, but they ain't doing nothing but hitting the air. So they fought one round. Honestly, I don't think either one of them won that round. Then they fought a second round. And I feel the same way about the second round. I honestly just don't feel like anybody won that round because most of the time they were swinging at the air. And then when they did get to connect to each other, that's when the security was breaking it apart. So I ain't gonna sit here and say, oh, Nunu got her ass beat or oh, Tavy got her ass beat because I don't think either one of them won, if I'm being honest with you. So then we get to the performance. According to Natalie, and I'm so irritated having to hear Bobby's voice. Bobby is an irritant, right? So you hear Bobby talking about you gonna get fired. Oh, you gonna get fired. So according to DJ Sky, she says in her interview that she was not late, that she was dropped off at the time that she was supposed to arrive to the set. If that's what she says, go for it. So we get to the performances though. So the first person up was, Smiley. Then we hear that Gretchen is coming on the stage. I said, huh? I could have swore Natalie said that the girls who got booed were not going to perform. But Natalie was like, you know what? Somebody must have had a conversation with Natalie, and they were like, I think it's all because of this whole Summer situation, right? Because Summer keeps saying she's gonna perform. So I guess Natalie was like, shit, fuck it. If y'all, what I will say is, even though Natalie ain't my favorite person, I can agree with Natalie. It's not a good look that y'all trying to perform and the crowd ain't doing shit but booing y'all. But if y'all want to go out there and get that treatment, then shit, go out there and get that treatment. And I kind of agree with Natalie. So Gretchen is performing. Now I noticed that she didn't say nigga, but they still were booing the shit out of her, right? Summer comes out. They booed the shit out of Summer. Lex comes out. They booed Lex again. I was like, I mean, y'all asked for it. Now, Lex, I do like you. But for you to sit there and say you undefeated, I don't know if I would agree with that. I don't know if I would agree with the fact that you're undefeated in fighting because there were some fights in Midwest with Ivory that you ain't beat her up. That Ivory, like there were some fights that you got Ivory, and there were some fights that Ivory got you. So I don't know if I would agree with the fact that you undefeated. But hey, if you believe it in your head, cool, go for it, right? So then, if everybody else comes out, it was funny to me when Suki came out. Now Suki got her whole ass out. Then she talking to the crowd like y'all a little lame. Like maybe y'all coochies probably stink, huh? Where the good smelling coochies at? I was like, only Suki. Vulgar as all outdoors, but I fucks with Suki, right? So Tinka. Tinka comes out and performs her song, right? I have an issue with you, Tinka, because you and Dolly ain't had no issues since that first fight that y'all had. But then in this particular moment, you want to sit here and say, now, Dolly, you lost. What happens to you at the end of the episode? I do not feel bad for you one bit. Like you got what was coming to you, right? So Mariah Lynn comes out next, and she going off because her music stopped, right? And I was like, oh God, her music stopped, and somebody else's music stopped. I forgot who it was. So Mariah Lynn in her interview, she big talking about, I'll smack you, DJ Scott. Mariah Lynn, please sit down somewhere. But you know what? You may be able to smack, you just might be able to smack DJ Sky. Because Anna smacked the shit out of her and she ain't did shit to Anna. So you may just wait, you may be able to smack her, right? Now, what I'm gonna say next is it was Roly, it was Tinka, it was Cold Killer, and Fauna backstage, right? Now they were talking about the girls who getting booed, and they were talking about how they feel so bad for Gretchen getting booed. I don't give a fuck about Gretchen getting booed. If that girl feels so freely to now, again, in this particular performance, I didn't hear her say nigga, so I don't know if she said nigga or not. But I don't feel shit for Gretchen. Fuck Gretchen, in my personal opinion. And if you like Gretchen, then oh fucking well. But in my personal opinion, fuck Gretchen, right? So then we get the girls back out on stage, right? So they with Natalie, and she's doing the theme song for this season, right? So then we get backstage again, and Rolly is pissed off, right? Because Tommy eventually made it. But they saying that Tommy was drunk. I don't know why y'all shocked that Tommy was drunk. Tommy, every time we saw her, looked like she's drunk. So I don't understand why y'all would be shocked about Tommy being drunk, right? So Rolly is saying that Tommy punched her in the nose, and then when she tried to check Tommy, Tommy choked her. And that sounds like Tommy, a belligerent drunk. So Jayla made an announcement and she let the girls know that she would be with them for the rest of the season. I mean, if you like it, Jayla, I love it for you. But the way that Natalie played in your face in Midwest, it would be nothing. There would be nothing for me and Natalie to ever have a conversation about at all, right? So the next day, we see as the girls are getting ready to head to Detroit, right? Mariah Lynn is on the bus talking about DJ messed up her song. You know, I told you not to play. So when the song first got messed up, they said play Bobby. Something about play this, do the song that they really want to hear. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe, and I'm admitting it. I won't take it back because I did the shit. I was a hoe. That's the only song about Mariah Lynn that I know. The only song by Mariah Lynn that I know, right? So Mariah Lynn's like, I told her not to play the Jersey mix because we in Chicago and ain't nobody gonna even understand the Jersey mix. That's a club mix. Girl, it's still the same fucking song. Jersey mix, Texas mix, whatever mix it is, it's still the same fucking song. If you're a real artist about your shit, when you on stage and somebody fucks up your shit, hit that bitch a cappella. Tell the DJ, cut, fuck it. It's the track is fucked up. Stop the music. Stop the music. We finna kick this shit a cappella style. But you didn't do that. So shut up, Mariah. So Mariah feels like they need a new DJ. Okay, I honestly don't care. Whatever. So we see as Summer and Tinka come to get on the bus. When Tinka walked on that bus, Dolly stole off on her ass. And as much as I'm not a Dolly fan, I was here for it. Because here's my thing, Tinka. You say, nah, Dolly, you lost. But she ain't fucking with you. So it's going to be, nah, Tinka, you lost. And that's just how I feel. But that's the episode. If I left anything out that anybody wants to discuss, feel free to drop it down in the comments section below. Please subscribe to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, please share the video and like the video, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video. So until then, please stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.